We just can't help but sing along to the playful, young, web-slinging teenager's way of meddling that he does with the sunflower music that plays throughout Miles Morales' debut in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And even though 2 more sequels are coming up in the animated franchise, we are craving for more, which could ultimately be for us to see him in the live-action MCU, possibly as soon as the next Spider-Man movie, or even a standalone movie of his own. With so many movies and TV shows rolling in from Marvel Studios, both on the big screen and on the Disney Plus streaming platform, the rumors about what the 4th Tom Holland Spider-Man movie cannot seem to stop spreading, with one particular element always being present in almost all of them: Miles Morales to come to the live-action MCU. After the success he had with the first animated movie, which eventually got renewed for yet another 2 movies, with the sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, expected to release on October 7th, 2022. That is, if no further delays occur. And with that in mind, we decided to do some digging, and we stumbled upon a rumor that Marvel and Sony are secretly developing a Miles Morales live-action movie, one that will join the other projects that are part of the Sony Spider-Verse, much like where Venom and Morbius are, as we came to know part of that same universe. And while there has been no clear indication of what stage the development process is in right now, the idea is a no-brainer. Miles Morales has been a fan favorite for a decade now, which was amplified by his first outing in his standalone movie, and will further be with the already mentioned sequel. One of the 2, as the next upcoming movie will only be the first part of the story moving forward, with the latest Spider-Man No Way Home meddling with the multiverse side of things, and already introducing the past iterations of the live-action Spider-Man. We are certain that you are just as excited as we are to see Miles Morales become a member of this group. The first movie from Sony and Marvel deal featured a nod to the character, and it came with the introduction of his uncle Aaron Davis, played by Donald Glover. Fans much like us saw this as a sure sign that Miles is coming. However, our wish will have to wait, as we will probably need to see the 2 upcoming animated movies play out, and then for us to see him probably in the next 4th MCU Spider-Man movie alongside Tom Holland's Peter Parker. And if not then there will surely be some references and setups for the 5th movie, which is a highly possible outcome, seeing how 3 more movies were announced by Sony and Marvel regarding the Spider-Man franchise, one that will be a part of Sony's shared Spider-Verse. Despite being in the odd place right now with all the timelines in the multiverse, the rumors of the 4th Spider-Man movie introducing Miles Morales are bigger than ever, with Tom Holland's Peter Parker taken to be his mentor figure, according to prominent leaker viewer Adon. As we said before, Miles Morales may already exist in the MCU, according to us meeting his uncle Aaron Davis in the first MCU Spider-Man movie. And based on some Spider-Man tweets by Jaden Smith, some fans are suspicious that it might be Will Smith's son who could take on the role and star as the Black Latino superhero. Fans are both for and against Miles Morales popping in the MCU as soon as the next Spider-Man movie. And with the star-studded cast in the last 2 movies showcased to us, Miles could be coming to the big screen. However, some fans think that the next Spider-Man movie should pull back from introducing more and more meaningful characters, and should instead focus on Tom Holland's Spider-Man, giving him a true solo adventure. We have talked a lot about Miles Morales and him becoming part of the wider MCU, despite no connection to the MCU being made in his animated movie, which seems to be the case in the upcoming sequel as well. Okay, so we're going to get Miles Morales Spider-Man in the MCU, but have Marvel Studios found the actor to portray the role? Well, we mentioned Jaden Smith, and he seems to be the number 1 on the list of possible candidates for the role, which was made clear by Will Smith's article about his son, who said, "My son is preparing physically and mentally to get a place as one of the characters who will make history for the first time in the saga of a film that many already know and ask for," which seems to be a clear indication enough that we will be seeing Jaden in the MCU in the near future. That is, if he is not planned for DC movies Static Shock that is in development. with Michael B. Jordan helming things. The young Miles Morales stole our hearts with his humming of the lyrics in his first animated movie. And no matter what the fans think on the matter of if he is ready to go to join the MCU, as soon as the next Spider-Man movie or at a later stage, the MCU needs him. That one is for sure. Post Malone's Sunflower is still one of the most famous songs in the world, and the movie made it an even better single, just because of how it was interpreted in the movie from the side of Shameik Moore, who made headlines for his voice acting performance of Miles Morales. Created in 2011 as an alternate version of Spider-Man, Miles got introduced as a biracial teenager who develops his superpowers similar to the ones Peter Parker has, after he was bitten by a radioactive spider. And although it was not a first, Marvel fans took very well to Miles. Even in the comics, he is not the go-to Spider-Man when you think of the hero. However, the first movie of his made a great thing to introduce a new sensibility from all Spider-Man movies, with it perfectly imitating the drawing style of the one in the comics, which brought Miles to the spotlight. Hence why we are even talking about him today. As his popularity grows, Miles is surely going to appear in many spin-offs to the sequels he is already confirmed in. He was even mentioned in the latest Spider-Man movie from the side of Jamie Foxx, who, after seeing Andrew Garfield's Unmasked Spider-Man, he was surprised Spidey wasn't black, who assumed that the one helping the poor people under the mask would be a black kid, no one else. This is certainly a direct reference to Morales and his role in everything. Tom Holland also had a say in everything with him, telling People magazine once that he doesn't want to be responsible for holding back the next young person that comes after him, who will deserve the role he has got right now, which could be potentially taken as a nod to the next big thing, and that is Miles Morales. One of the most interesting things about Miles' story is that they feel the closest to the spirit of the Spider-Man's 1960s origins. Stan Lee and Steven Ditko's teenage hero began a story of a low-income social outcast trying to make it through the world and high school, with the villains all being either blue-collar or enemies of the working class, while also not having a superhero team or a billionaire to save him. Miles' story to become part of the live-action MCU will need a lot of push, and we are in no doubt that Marvel Studios does not have the right things for him. Him getting a spot in the wider MCU will also bring a lot of freshness to the franchise, with him being a hot topic that should be taken seriously. And what better way to achieve this unique story than by taking Miles Morales' journey to the next level, something we are all eager to witness as soon as possible. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you think Miles Morales is ready to join the MCU? Or it might be a better option for the companies to wait a little and introduce him in a later stage, seeing how he has a lot going on with his endeavors in the multiverse in his 2 upcoming animated movies. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.